Hi guys, welcome to another video on Advancing Me. So as you can tell, we're in a different place, and that's because I have moved finally, and I hope that we have a lot of good memories and discussions right here to continue on this channel. So today's video, I wanted to express some thoughts I've been having about our feelings towards our own oppression and the decolonization of those feelings. Obviously, like coming from a religious background, I often remember the phrase forgive and forget, which is like, and also judge not lest you be judged. And this whole idea of basically letting, I feel like what I'm understanding it right now is in a way a pacifying way of looking at one's own oppression and letting it just be and praying it away and hoping that someone somewhere, basically God, will come and he will do the fixing. And I remember, of course, when I was religious, I really believed in that, and it did give me comfort. But now when I look at it, I'm like, wow, this is something that we are supposed to be doing. This is something that we are supposed to be handling. But at the same time, also with, of course, political correctness, like all of these are limitations on how we are allowed to express ourselves and what is justified feelings and what is justifiable action, and all in the hands of, ironically, the same system that creates that oppression that we're reacting towards. And I've always thought about it like this liberating, the seeking of liberation of the right to feel as you feel, and to know that your feelings towards oppression is justified, and you do not need permission from people who sometimes don't experience that same oppression or benefit from that oppression to tell you what is the right way to react and feel when you feel the way you do. And this is a bit weird, but like, not weird, but just like, I remember a time when I had to allow myself to not just feel hurt by the system that we live in and its effect on, of course, African people, on Black people all over the world. I feel like there is this thing of forbidden feelings, this thing of forbidden reaction that even our minds are still in a way colonized or under mental slavery, in the sense that we want to express the very humane things that we feel in a respectable manner. On one hand, I get it, because emotions are there, of course, to guide us of our inner makings, but we are also supposed to be knowledgeable enough to know how to manage our emotions. Manage is different from oppressing or suppressing our emotions. Because, for example, when I'm sad, like, I like to have a good cry. And once I have my good cry, I usually feel better. When I'm feeling angered, when I'm feeling disappointed, I like to voice that in a certain way. Like, I talk to people around me, I write about it, maybe I come and make a video about it. I have a way of letting those emotions out. And I'm thinking about like how for so many years, when you think about Black oppression, that even our emotions had to be permitted, or had to be justified, or had to be put in a box of acceptable reactions. I was talking to Reg. I was talking to him about this, like I was commenting on it, on how actually we are in charge of babysitting our own oppression, in the sense that in so many ways, even while you're oppressed, because you're so observant of your oppressor and what he expects of you, more than your oppressor is aware of you, because they have the privilege of discarding you and for you to only matter in the context that they see you valuable to matter in. But you are so observant because your observation and your understanding and knowing of your situation determines your survival in such a setting. You're very aware of this person. I mean, like, sometimes we don't know it, but we feel it. We act a different way, we speak a different way, we dress a different way. And those are all the makings of a limited being, of an oppressed being, that you're constantly calculating your existence, whereas privilege is more carefree, which is interesting because that's another thing I think about the notion of free, carefree Black people, that it's so mind-blowing because that thing is such an opposite. Like, to be Black is to be filled with worries, basically. Not worries, but in the sense that you're constantly cautious, and the idea of being carefree is almost kind of fatal to your existence, because you can't just be all willy-nilly living around life. And of course that varies depending on where you live. What I wanted to say about the decolonization of emotions is that the right to feel what we feel and to not have to justify it to the same people that are either creating this oppression or sustaining it or actually benefiting from it. And this messed up way of feeling that the same system that oppresses you has the moral judgment to tell you what is appropriate to react towards that oppression. And I feel like this has been a really interesting way of looking at it, by examining my own feelings about how I express how I feel when I see injustice. When I see injustice that also affects my life, and how I talk to people who might not experience that injustice, whether we're talking about sexism or racism or classism, whatever. And the way you talk when you're talking to someone who has no idea of what you might be talking about, and how inside yourself you become, because while you want to express yourself fully, you also don't want to, cause this person hurt. And you're constantly balancing these two worlds, which sucks, and which is mind-boggling, and which is exhausting, because you want to have the right to just grieve and to feel anger, to, God forbid, even feel hatred. And we're not allowed to do that. And I've always felt like that is maybe why there's so much suppression of even our own emotions and how we express those, because we are so limited, we are so confined. We couldn't even vote. For so many years, we weren't even considered humans for so many years. So liberation is something we are learning, relearning. And liberation of thought is part of that learning and unlearning, and understanding you have the right to feel what you feel. And oh my God, it's more than justified. When you understand what's going on, when you read history, when you listen to all these stories happening in places that they're just mind-blowing, and they're just so exhausting. And to feel that on top of that, you have to police your emotions and reactions, that is a true form of mental slavery, that you're not even allowed to feel how you feel, and to say that this is how I feel, this is exactly how I feel, and I do not care if it's rational, I do not care if you think it's justifiable, I do not care if you think it's progressive, this is how I feel, and I have the right to feel how I feel. Yeah, so that's what I wanted to share. And of course, like, within my own unlearning and relearning, I've been through the different phases, and I'm still going through phases, like, of being very bitter, very angry, and then very confused, and then hateful, because you would have to be insane to pay attention, to read history, to see what they're doing, and then to feel like, I'm just gonna center myself and be okay with this, because it's not okay. So it's normal to feel hateful, but to also understand, of course, that hate and that bitterness and that anger, if not geared towards a proactive solution, is poison within you. But you still have the right to purge it out, if that makes sense. Anyway, I hope that this video makes sense, and like, I feel like with the recent events that it's a video I've been wanting to make, and I kind of was like, I have to make it, because I think a lot of people go through those emotions, and they feel like they have to constantly balance between not being offensive while feeling so offended, and especially Black people struggle with that. The right to feel as we feel, and to be okay with expressing it, and to not let moral justification be in the hands of the same system that causes that hurt. Anyway, I hope you found any value or, I don't know, solitude in this video, in that you're not alone if you feel that way, and you have every right to feel how you feel and to allow yourself to feel those things. And I will see you in my next video. Bye guys! Our diversity is so important to the survival of us all, and our self-care is so important to the survival of us all.